What the hell is going on, everybody? Welcome to the second episode of the Robert Verdugo podcast. Hope you guys are doing well. Your boy is fresh out of his first exam. Fuck me, I've had 2 hours sleep. Not even phased one fucking bit. Yeah, it's been a really eventful day. I'm gonna crack open this bad boy. This has to be the greatest sound on this planet. Just listen. Oh, mate. Monster Energy Zero Ultra, because of the zero sugar. Even though I just read an article recently where apparently this increases your chance of having a heart attack. Now, I think everything that you consume in your life has a risk of everything. I have shapes beside me which I can't eat on the podcast right now. Those are going to give me cardiovascular disease or give me obesity. Give me obesity. It doesn't make any sense. I'll get fat from eating that shit. But you know what? I don't fucking care because I'm in examination mode. And also, I want to wish good luck to everyone that's in the midst of exams right now, including the year 12s. Shoutouts to you fuckers. Shoutouts to all the parade boys that even listen to this podcast. Probably no one fucking listen to this podcast. Let's be real. So I did go to Parade College and I want to actually talk about the year 12 experience because my girlfriend's sister is actually in the midst of year 12 right now and doing exams and everything. And it kind of makes me think, like, what the hell was it like back when I was in year 12? And relax, it wasn't like 10, 20 years ago. I graduated in 2013 and I really wanted to speak about just year 12 for a little bit. I've also want to get into a bit of Apple, because your boy's going a bit of a change. So first off, I want to talk about the English exam of this year and how much of a fucking piss take that was. Like, I'm reading an article of Triple J, right? And it said how a year 12 English exam nearly destroyed a local cafe. So when I was in year 12, I think the times have changed now. I think they've changed it a little bit in terms of the exam itself. I'm pretty sure it's still 3 hours and you have to do 3 separate essays or 3 separate pieces. Now, the first one is just an essay based on a book that you've read throughout the year. That's exact same experience that I had when I was in year 12. But when I was in year 12 and I did my English exam and I did very, very average, I had there was a creative piece, and that creative piece, you just write an essay or you literally write a story, but the story has to be cohesive. It's got to have a good theme to it. You've got to have nice vocabulary as well, and also have punctual and be formal in a sense where everything makes sense. It flows nicely, and yeah, I think they've changed that now. I've been told that you have a comparison piece, so you have to compare 2 articles or something. I'm not quite sure. And lastly, was a topic that I really want to talk about. Make sure my levels are okay. Yeah, they are. Is how an article that the VCAA, which is they're in charge of like all exams and shit, they put out an article in the exam. So basically what you have to do is you have to read this article within the exam. Mind you, you have 3 hours, so you've got to do the other 2 pieces in 2 hours. You've got 1 hour each. So this, you have to read it, and then you've got to analyze the piece in... You have to analyze it in terms of what kind of vocab are they using, what metaphors, if they have double entendres. Shout out to all my hip-hop heads out there. And also how they persuade you as a reader to agree with the article that they're giving, pretty much. I think it's something like that. Basically, there's a place called Karma Cafe. And this cafe got absolutely roasted because they got featured in the year 12 article. How stupid is that? Like, it's the stupidest thing I've heard, because the article itself mentions Karma Cafe and the year 12s were like, fuck, this exam was shit. I did so bad. Maybe I should have studied. But you know what? I'm going to take it out on one of just a random cafe joint. So what everyone did that was in year 12 of this year, basically went on Google reviews and rated that Karma Cafe place a 1-star rating. And they went from like a 5-star rating or 4.3 to literally like a 1.5 or less rating, which is stupid. It's so fucking stupid. There's comments here that say, you are responsible for my below 35 ATAR. Oh my God. So for anyone that's not aware, ATAR is basically a score that you that is accumulated over the course of the year 12 period, where you go through subjects, you do the tests, and then you do assignments, and all that accumulates to the very end, but mainly your exam is what counts. And your exam in total adds up all together, and you get this score out of 100. Or technically, it's not out of 100. Apparently, I don't know if it's a rumor or not, but apparently you cannot get more than 99.95, because apparently you can't be better than yourself. Or that's what I heard back when I was in year 12. I have no idea what it's like now. But if you get... Oh, fuck me, excuse me. This monster's already taken a toll on my burping shit. God damn. Ooh. If you're in the 90s, you're considered a freak. So, yeah, I got nothing near that. Let's be real. And that's one thing I want to talk about, is getting into courses throughout when you finish year 12, because this is something I didn't know. And I'm sure people who are listening, if you're going through year 12 right now, trust me, there's a lot of pressure on you to do really well, and you go to the best of your ability, but don't pay attention to the people that's putting pressure on you, because of the fact that it's not no one else's decision to do year 12 but you. If you want to do year 12, you want to do well, pull your fucking socks up and do well. Anyone can get a high score. I was in year 12 and I absolutely hated year 12. That's just me, because I didn't like school. I hated school and I hated year 12. I mean, I hated it, and then I didn't, because of the friends that I still have to today. It's been 5 years onwards, and I've been friends with them ever since, and they're fucking amazing people. Just the whole aspect of people putting pressure on you, the teachers pressuring you, say you gotta do well, you gotta do well, you gotta do well. Your parents are telling you you gotta do well. Like, it's fucked. It's really stupid, but just tend to ignore that and just go to the best of your ability. Try your hardest when it comes to these exams, and also at the same time, don't take year 12 for granted, because at the end of the day, it's a really good year, because it's your last year of school. That feeling when you walk out of your last exam, holy shit. I remember that day as if like it was yesterday, dude. I did a philosophy exam. Holy shit, fucking philosophy, goddamn. I walked out of that. That was the worst exam I've ever done in my life. I regret it now, not studying at all. But I walked out and I was like, I am free. Free as a bird. Schoolies was coming up. Boy, I was getting gassed, bro. I'm thinking about it right now. I was getting so gassed. And Schoolies is probably the best, apart from my Japan travel experiences, that has to be the best week of my life by far. It was with my best friends, hanging for a week or 10 days or something like that, and just having a fucking good time with your friends and enjoying the moment. So that's one thing I'd highly recommend, is just enjoy that year, enjoy year 12 and enjoy that experience of Schoolies, because that shit's fucking lit. But so basically with year 12 and you going into, because for us, right, I don't know if it's anywhere else, but this is just my experience from being in Melbourne. So when you do your preferences, you got to choose 10 or 12 preferences. You choose 10 to 12 courses, and then your ATAR depicts on what course that you get. It's very like, they don't teach you this shit at all. Like, they kind of do, but like the students just gossip around each other, and that's how you get around. So basically you have your top 3 courses are the ones that you definitely want to do in life. You definitely want to do, and you want to try hardest to get those. The rest are just ones that you just like, fuck man, I got to put something just to fill in the gap. Maybe I should do like just a random course, you know, nurse, dental, orthopedic, I don't fucking know. Just anything that just fills up the gap. So when I was in year 12 and I finished year 12, finished my exams, I was really good at PE. I mean, when I say I was really good, I was still doing a really shit score, but for me, I thought I was doing really well. And I really enjoyed PE. Just because, you know, the human body and putting stress on your body through doing weights or doing certain exercises or sports, and your body replenishes itself to a point where it becomes stronger. Like, just think about that for a second. That's pretty insane what your body can do. And the human body is a fucking machine. You go to the gym, you bench 100 kilos, 110 kilos, whatever it may be. The next day, yeah, you're fucking sore, but your body's like, hey, I lifted this much. I want to lift more next time I go in, which is insane. And that's something that I really liked about doing year 12, is just it's analyzing about what PE is like, what the body can do. And I think the main thing I can actually bring out of that is the whole ATP PC what else was there? ATP PC storage, and like you utilizing that within 5 to 10 or 15 seconds, which is like your ATP stores, and then fat burning and everything like that. I'm going on a ramble. So after year 12, I really wanted to do health science. And what did I actually wanted to do after I did health science? I swear I wanted to be like a physio, or I actually can't even remember, dude. Honestly, it was like physio/PE teacher. I wasn't quite sure. And thinking back at it now, no fucking way would I do that. So after year 12 finished, after I got my results, I got my second preference. My first preference was health science, but then I got health science, a diploma course. And this is something I want to talk about because not many people ever do talk about this, because as a year 12 student, you never got told this, and you will get fucked over if you go through this method. Trust me. I went to La Trobe, Melbourne, which I thought was La Trobe University, but it actually isn't. La Trobe, Melbourne is it's a mix between it's in between TAFE and uni. So you do the same course as the university does for first year health science students, but you do it at a TAFE level. So you go in 4 to 5 days a week for 3 semesters or a trimester, 3 trimesters or whatever. So I went for a whole year going 4 to 5 days a week, going through Christmas, Easter, start of the year, through summer, which was peaking at the time. And I hated it because I had one subject where I failed twice. I went for my 3rd time, and if I didn't pass that, I had to go back the following year and repeat that subject in order to pass the whole freaking thing. And mind you, if I didn't pass this subject, which was called HBA, which is stupid, if I didn't pass that, I couldn't do the next following subject, which was HBB. It's a bit confusing, but basically when you're at uni, you need to finish a subject before you can go to another because it's a prerequisite. So if I didn't pass this, I couldn't do the next subject. I had to go back the following year. I failed by 1 mark. I got 49 out of 50. And those assholes would they wouldn't even lift a finger to give me that extra mark just so I could pass. That is when I was like, you know what? I'm fucking done. I'm absolutely done. What the hell am I going to do? So I deferred, and that diploma, whatever, air quote, diploma, which I didn't even get, was expensive. And if you're going to go in the route of doing something like that, where you have to do a diploma in order to get the first year course and credits, that shit is expensive, and you need to read the fucking bill when it comes to your HECS. Well, for us Australians, we get HECS. I think it's everywhere else in Australia. We get HECS, so we don't have to pay the student university fees until we get a full-time job. And I believe it's over 49,900 is when you start paying the HECS. That's like the threshold for when you start paying. Or it might be a little bit less now because the government wants their fucking money back. So that was very expensive. I ended up doing advertising for a semester, and that was interesting. That's when my mind clicked. That's when I was like, you know what? I really like business. I really like the business aspect of things. It's interesting to see how an organization works. For instance, like we're going to talk about soon, Apple. And I know this podcast might sound like I'm sucking Apple's dick, but trust me, I'm doing a big, big leap today after this podcast, and I'll get to that soon. But going through and diving deep into an organization like Apple or like Samsung, or even as a company like McDonald's, you got to know how that company works, because if you want to be as successful as them, if you want to even get near to that level of profits and just revenue, you got to know how an organization works. You got to know how to run your employees, and that's what business is all about. And the course I'm doing right now, which I'm actually, hopefully, cross my fingers, graduating, is Bachelor of Business in Marketing at La Trobe. The marketing aspect of things is related to how is a product actually, how can you sell a product to a consumer? What does the consumer want? And a prime example of this is Apple and their products being like, they don't have a designated consumer or an ideal person that buys a product. My grandmother owns an iPhone. Like, that's how simple Apple makes things. Nowadays, it's getting slow for Apple because they recently just announced a couple days ago that they're not going to release any more info in relation to sales. They're not going to tell you how much iPhones they've sold in the current year. They're not going to tell you how many Macs they've sold or iPads, nothing. That is a very, very bold statement. Stock went down, I believe, by like 7%, which I was reading in the article. To announce something that you're not going to tell us about your sales means that Apple's on the decline, and hence why I'm converting to something different. But I'm off on a bit of a tangent because I really wanted to talk about what was it? Oh yeah, so the marketing course, doing all that, and then I finally realized what I wanted to do. So when you're in year 12 and you're thinking, all right, I want to do this, the big chance of you deferring from that course and doing something different is very, very high. So please do not get frustrated when you're like, I don't like this. What the fuck am I going to do with my life? That's the case for every single university student, most. So if you don't like the course, make sure you check your census date. The census date is basically a date that allows you to defer from your course without paying the fee for the semester. And trust me, those fees really add up. So that's just a bit of info that I just wanted to get about year 12. And I mean, good luck to everyone that's doing the exams right now, because it is a very stressful period. And your boy's copping some mad pimples, getting a little bit on the thick side, and also getting a bit lazy at the gym. Let's be real. This is my hibernation mode. This is where I stay home. I say I'm going to study. I do a little bit and procrastinate all day long. And then I eat shit. For starters, I eat shit. I don't go out. I don't go to the gym. And I start breaking out because of the high stress. Not to mention with my anxiety as well, just constantly on my mind, am I going to pass? Am I going to pass? Am I going to pass? It's just something you need to get over. And you guys will eventually get used to it. I mean, 4 years later, doing exams from year 8 to year 12, it's just something you got to get used to. And it's not going to be like that forever. So, yeah. So, apart from that, there was actually a public holiday yesterday. I hope you guys had a really good long weekend, even if it wasn't a long weekend, because the public holiday was actually on a Tuesday, which for me didn't really make sense. But yesterday was Melbourne Cup Day. And I don't know why this is getting a bit of traction now. It wasn't this big last year, but I need to find this article because it was very, very interesting to say the least. Melbourne Cup Day, right? If you guys aren't aware, Melbourne Cup Day is a public holiday where people go to the races and bet on horses. People that don't live in Australia, bro, are probably thinking, you fuckers. First you pronounce McDonald's Maccas, and now you're having a public day. You got a day off work so you could gamble on a fucking horse that's gonna die. And that's a big topic I want to talk about, just roughly and briefly, is how many horses have died during the race. How many horses died during the race that stops the nation? That title does not make fucking sense. It's a news article and it's fucking stupid. Anyways, so yesterday I actually didn't watch the race at all. I haven't bet on horses since last year. It's kind of clicked now, and I think with society now, it's kind of clicked that we're betting on horses and we've got a dedicated day to it. And these horses get euthanized by the end of it because they did shit. They've been injected with so much fucking steroids and hormones. They're like, you know what? We have no use for you. We're going to replace you with another horse. But apparently, the Calypso Moher became the 6th horse to die as a result of the race since 2013. So 6 horses have died because of this race, because they go through a lot of stress, pressure on the horse to really fucking win the race. Like, the horse is going to know it's a race, and they're not going to win money, but you know what I mean. So ever since Archer won the inaugural Melbourne Cup, the race that stops the nation has been surrounded by controversy. I'm not going to go into this, but basically, I think society now has come to terms with it's not right, and it's solely an opinion. And let me take a sip of my beautiful Monster first. I hate the fucking public holiday. I'll get this out there right now. I hate it. But I'm not a vegetarian. I'm not a vegan. I'm a carnivore, and I love my meat. But you're not going to put a lot of pressure on a horse to win a race for you to win a lot of fucking money. That makes no sense. And a good point that my girlfriend actually brought up yesterday was, how would everyone feel if you were in that race, you were put through all that torture. You got injected with so much fucking steroids that your pupils are so dilated and you're ready to fucking die, and you got to be put through a race. And you don't get anything out of it. You get absolutely nothing. The only thing you get is you die at the end of that race. Just think about that for a second. It's pretty weird. So imagine if humans were actually in that race and everyone else was betting on a certain dude to win because he thinks his odds were better. That's pretty fucking stupid if you ask me. So that public holiday it's pretty ridiculous, and I just don't. It's the kind of thing that people used to do. I mean, my family used to do it, but now we're just like Siebes. Like, no one really cares for it anymore. Like, yeah, it stops the nation and everyone stops and watches, but unless you're going to the races, you don't really care, and I don't. And let's be real, the traffic was beautiful yesterday. There was no traffic whatsoever because everyone watched the race. But dude, I think now, I think you just got to come to terms that it's a little bit stupid. That's all I'm going to say. Like, I keep saying stupid so many times because it's a topic that not many people want to talk about. But I actually saw a recent post from Mark, who actually is from Saintside. Shouts out to you. Fuck me, man. I can't speak today. He actually came with a comment and he was like, dude, what if we just get people in cars and drift and bet on that? Why will we not do that instead? If everyone was drifting and it was a races and it was a public holiday for people to drift and we could bet on that shit, holy shit, man, would I line up for that shit any fucking day of the week? So yeah, that's just a bit of a tangent on the Melbourne Cup. But now I wanted to get into a topic which I'm very gassed about, and that is converting from my iPhone 7 Plus to the Google Pixel 3. I need to take a sip for this. Yes, I have been an Apple user since the fucking dawn of time, mate. I've had the iPod Classic. Remember those really big, thick iPods? I had one of those. I've still got it, mind you. It still works perfectly fine. 128 gigs. There's no music on it because the day and age of music now is streaming. And streaming is just so much more convenient. But that's still there. I'm going to hold on to it, and it's going to be something to maybe pass down to my kid one day, or even just leave it and just see where prices go with this fucking device, because it could be a big thing. So after that, I owned the iPod Touch, I believe in year 7, I think. Fuck, that was a long time ago. I think it was a very, very long time ago. iPod Touch, I still had like an LG phone or something that was just a touchscreen phone back when smartphones were just starting to be on the rise. But I think it might have been just after Steve Jobs announced the iPhone. Because I know my first phone was the iPhone 4. My first iPhone was iPhone 4. And then from then on, I went from a 4 to a 5, and then from a 5 to a 6, 6 to a 7 Plus, and then I stopped. Because Apple's innovation has slowly declined. It's slow. And I think as well, it's because of the fact that people just are done with smartphones. They've hit their peak. You've hit the potential of a smartphone. You forked out $1,800 for the iPhone 10. What are the chances of you going out and buying another phone? Very, very low chance. Me, I've had the iPhone 7 Plus on a plan for 2 years. That contract finished a while ago. I've been on a SIM-only plan. Excuse me. I've been on a SIM-only plan, and I'm just thinking, I'm just bored of it. And my mate made a good point about it because he converted from an iPhone to Samsung S9, and he said that the iOS is just kiddish. It's just And I really agree. And this is different though. The ecosystem of Apple, great terminology, between my MacBook Air and my iMac is completely different, because those two devices work hand in hand when it comes to video editing and just doing general shit. It's amazing. But the phone though, you use it every single day. You look at it like, it's crazy how many times you look up at your phone. It's more than 150 times a day, I'm pretty fucking sure. So I was just bored of it, and I just really wanted to try something different, and I've been researching for ages. I wanted the Pixel 2. Last year, was just like, you know what, I want to change, but then I got cold feet at the last minute because I was like, I should have just got iPhone 10s or something. I don't know. So when the Google Pixel 2 came out last year and the Google Pixel 2 XL, I was like, should I bite the bullet? But then there were leaks and rumors that the Google Pixel 3 is going to be a lot better. And mind you, the camera on the Pixel 2 was already the best camera on the market, hands down, by far. Now the Google Pixel 3 has come out, camera's even better, and it's not that far ahead of the 10s, but it's still like in a whole nother realm. You can't really compare. But the Google Pixel though, I'm not getting the XL because that notch is horrendous. I'm not copying that notch. I'm not copying that notch in the chin, if you know what I mean. I'm going to go Google Pixel 3 because I have the 7 Plus and that is the XL size, but with like, obviously like the bezels on the 7 Plus are like enormous and just, it's outdated. Whereas the Pixel 3, it's got a little bit of bezels up the top and the bottom. It's got a little bit of a chin, and that's really about it. But I just want to use something different when it comes to using it. I wanted to just switch from iOS and go Android because fuck it. Like, step out of my comfort zone and try something different because it's just so, you can like conform in a little bubble when it comes to using Apple. Because this is what they do. They reel you in with that phone, yeah? They're like, fucking beautiful phone. Back in the day, you had a 5 or a 6. You're like, God damn, dude. It was so accessible and the price was relatively good. Nowadays, it's ridiculous. But the price is pretty good back in the day. And now, you've got the iPhone XR, which is 720 display. You can't even watch 1080p videos on that shit. And it's charging just under $1,000. That's ridiculous. That's so stupid. But getting back to my point of the 7 Plus and the 6 and stuff. So from updating from a 4 to a 5 and the 5 to a 6, there were big changes. You're like, holy shit, they were massive. And not to mention, they were so quick. Like each device got so much quicker than the other. And you're like, holy shit, this is a brand new device. It's so sexy. The experience of opening that phone or like revealing that phone to yourself, like obviously unboxing and shit, that was amazing. I'm really losing my train of thought when it comes to this. I was supposed to talk about the ecosystem of Apple. I'll get to that in a second. So going from the 6 to the 7 Plus was a big jump for me because I had the smaller model, and going to a bigger phone, I was like, holy shit, the screen is enormous. It's beautiful. I love it. But now I'm going to downsize because I realized that when you hold the phone one-handed, my finger, and I'm male, obviously. I don't have relatively big hands, but the average dude, I can't get my thumb actually can't even get to the corner of the bottom right screen if I'm holding it right-handed, and I can't touch the top screen at all. Like, I'm not even physically near the top of the screen. So I need to always hold it with two hands, and being an Uber Eats driver, it's stupid because like it's so massive on my display in the car, and it's just in my face, and it's not cool. And maybe I'll get pulled over one day for using it, but I still haven't to today, so I'm pretty sweet. So bouncing back to the ecosystem of Apple, and this one, something I really wanted to talk about, was how they reel you in with the device. They reel you in with the phones, yeah? And you're like, fuck, these are sexy phones. What else do they have in stock, fam? Then you check out the MacBook Air, you check out the MacBook Pro, an iMac Pro, which is like $5,000 US. You've also got like the HomePods, the iPads. It's, oh my God, the amount of products that these fuckers sell is out of this world. But this is what they do. They really win with that phone, and they make you check out the other devices, and they seamlessly sync with one another. It's so easy to set up this MacBook Air that I have here. Mind you, from 2012. I believe it's 2012 or 2013 model. 2013. Sorry, my video had to cut off and I had to fucking do all that shit. It's that Canon 80D, man. Like, it only records half an hour in one go, and I've got to do it again. So, anyways. So, back to MacBook Air 2013. It's starting to run down, or starting to lose a bit of its capacity, like I said, because it takes a toll when you're editing and video editing, and doing photo editing and stuff. processor is working overtime, and this heats up heaps, and you can hear the fan just all fucking day, dude. It's because it gets hot, absolutely hot. So they really win with the MacBook Air, and then you really like, all right, I really want to get something else. I want to fucking flex on these bitches at uni. Let me get an iPad. And then you get the iPad, set it up really easily with the iCloud account. See, it's so seamless between all your devices, and then you're stuck. You're stuck in this little bubble full of Apple products that, yes, they're good. Don't get me wrong. They're crazy products. They do the job and they do it well. Quality is insane. I mean, now you're starting to pay for overpriced quality. But back in the day, quality, you're like, holy fuck, feel the MacBook Air. It's like, holy shit, this is just something else. But then you're stuck and you can't get out. You're like, I want to poke a little hole in this bubble and leave, but I can't because I'm so saturated with Apple products and I don't know what to do and I don't know how to get out. And these people that buy the phones every year is ridiculous. Like, it's insane, dude. You don't need it. And there's so much better shit out there. Hence why the Google Pixel 3, the Android, I believe it's using Android, Samsung Pi or something. I'm going to get my terminology up to date with Samsung and Android and everything like that. There's just so much better use, man. It's crazy. I think it's more of a sophisticated and more intellectual system compared to a simplistic and minimal iOS system. But one thing I probably would never ever convert to is Mac OS to Windows. I will always stay on Mac OS because I was always Windows, dude. I went from Windows 98 to 2000 to 2000 or 2001 XP or whatever the fuck it was, and then from there I just stopped using a desktop until I got the MacBook Air, which I got at the start of university, which was in 2013, obviously. So yeah, start of year 12, halfway through year 12, I'm talking shit. Anyways, changing and going through the first experience of using Mac OS, holy shit, that was mind blowing. I lost my virginity to Mac OS in 2013, and I will look back and think that was the best day of my life. It's life-changing because Windows is so clunky. You have updates every 2 minutes. Every day is an update. Whereas Mac OS, they build up all one update into, let's say, what's this new system? Mojave. It's insane. And now I think with the MacBook Pros and the MacBook Airs and everything, it's very, very overpriced systems now. I've watched heaps and heaps of videos in regards to the whole ecosystem of Apple, the actual products of Apple. Is it worth buying? Because in the long run, I am going to want to upgrade the MacBook Air. I'm going to hand this down to my mum, and I'm going to try and get a MacBook Pro. But man, I don't know what to get, because if I max out a MacBook Pro system, that fucking shit runs you like $3,000. Oh my God. This MacBook Air back in the day when it first got introduced was like, it was a stepping stone into Mac OS and stepping stone into the MacBook realm. Because it was cheap. It was cheap compared to all the other ones, because the MacBook Pro at the time was, I believe, was like $500-$600 more. Yeah, it had like, I'm pretty sure it had the Retina display. It was a much better processor. It was a lot faster. But this was a good entry level, and it still is. But now the MacBook Air, because they've reintroduced it, they got the MacBook Air back on. It's only like $200 cheaper than a MacBook Pro, or $100, or something like a very, very close figure. And it was like, it's not even worth getting the MacBook Air, because looking back at the specs from this model, from my model from 2013 to the model now, they're very, very similar. They're not that much different. Yeah, there's like obviously like some hardware in there's a lot more improved, but what the fuck? But still, it still relatively runs the same. So in the end, I might just upgrade to a MacBook Pro. I'll leave my 5K iMac because that is beautiful. It's my fucking baby, and it is a beast, a fucking beast for video editing. But for the time being, this MacBook Air will be fine. And I went on a bit of a tangent because I am going to convert to the Google Pixel 3, and I will tell you guys in the next podcast what my experience is going to be like, because I haven't found any videos or anything that's showing the perspective of someone who was always a Apple dude and converting into an Android. I can't find a video on it. And I just did so much research, and how am I going to go about going with this Google Pixel? Because it's a completely different system, dude. The way it runs is completely different, and I love the fact that it has the fingerprint scanner at the back. That is something Apple should have done when they went bezel-less, or when they went to Face ID. Just put that little touch fingerprint scan on the back, and it would have just perfected the phone, dude. I still haven't experienced like the Google Pixel 3 yet. I just went in store and just play with like the screen. But I think when I'm going to hold it, I'm just going to look at the back and be like, holy shit, man, I can just touch, boop, done, and just open it. It's so convenient. They don't have Face ID, they don't have like face recognition system, but they do have the glass back, which allows for wireless charging. They've also, I think that Pi, Android Pi or whatever, it's got that, you can do split screen on the fucking phone. Apple, bro, what are you doing with iOS 12? Like, split screen already, dude. There's so many systems now that Android has where you can do split screen. You can watch a video and still, like, surf the web and do other shit while you watch a video. That is just so... Oh, it's just so... I'm so keen, bro. I'm going in, like, half an hour to pick up this phone. I'm so gassed. So, what I'm going to do is... I'm going to leave you guys here. I will let you guys know how I'm going to go with the from Apple to Samsung, Apple to Google conversion on my next podcast. And also, before you guys go, I also just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening to my first podcast. That was a semi-nervous experience, but obviously people were like, dude, you looked fine. It was enjoyable. I absolutely loved it. And thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, because it means a lot. And I'm enjoying this so much. I absolutely love just talking shit to you guys. It's so fun. And in the long run, I really want to have guests on this show. And a surprise guest, I'm not even surprised, but I might as well fucking tell you. Because I'm going to Japan on the 22nd of November. My last exam is on the 20th. And I leave to go to the Gold Coast on the 21st. And I'm going to meet up with my boy Christian Ray. If you guys aren't unaware, we did a collaboration video on Vibes Rachel Fitz. I've got an episode on my channel and also his channel, so go ahead and check it out. He's going to be a featured guest in the coming weeks, and I believe it's going to be in like 2 weeks' time, so a couple podcasts away. We're just going to have a chat one-on-one just about random shit. And if you guys have any questions for any of us, I would love to hear it. And I will also put it into that podcast too. Get some questions from you guys and answer it on the spot. And yeah, we're just going to have a good time, dude. And in the future, yeah, I want to get more guests, but not in my parents' house. That's just really weird. Maybe in the long run, if I ever move out into an apartment or if I get my own house, yeah, I'll have some fucking guests and shit. But for the time being, this will be fine. So yeah, I will leave you guys with a nice, beautiful sleeper tune to end the podcast. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. And if you did, make sure to like the damn video. And if you are listening on SoundCloud, to follow me on the SoundCloud, I will leave a link for SoundCloud link down below, and just like the audio and have a great day for me. I will see you guys in the next, not in the next video, fam. I'll talk to you guys in the next podcast, all right? Take care. I'm out. Peace.